Are you actively lobbying your Democratic colleagues to vote yes on this, or are you assuming that this debate is over?
Well, first of all, let me ask you and your listeners, aren't you sick and tired of this? Now, I'll be going to the Senate floor before we take a vote on the Eliminate Shutdowns Act. Now, it's the same question. I mean, this is so completely unnecessary. We generally know how these things end. Deals done to spend more money than the nation can afford. But the result of that is we've gone from $14 trillion in debt since I entered Congress in 2011 to $37 trillion. It certainly doesn't put pressure on passing appropriation bills. Here's a little factoid I had my staff look. I've been here 15 years. We should have passed 180 appropriation bills prior to the end of the fiscal year. We've passed a whopping 6. 3.3% success rate. That means a 96.7% failure rate. So obviously the shutdown showdown, this charade, doesn't create pressure to actually pass appropriation bills, but it creates an awful lot of pressure to spend more than we can actually afford. So again, I hope Democrats come to their senses. This is completely unnecessary. We should stop playing partisan games with people's lives and with our economy. So again, the solution is Eliminate Shutdowns Act. It just sets up rolling 4-day continuing appropriations for any account that hasn't been appropriated for. Appropriators still doesn't diminish their power. They can still do deals on things they agree on, negotiate on things they disagree on. It just gets rid of all the drama, all the angst, all the trauma for coming out from these shutdown showdowns.
All right, Senator, so you're floating a plan that would make 14-day CRs automatic. There is reporting that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is floating a plan that potentially could keep the government open for 7 to 10 days, a very short CR. But if there are negotiations on making permanent those expiring Obamacare tax subsidies, is this something that you could get on board with if it means keeping the government open long enough so at least the discussions on the future of this program could be had?
Well, listen to what you just said. The temporary Obamacare COVID enhanced subsidies. Now, again, the reason people are paying such enormous premiums on the Obamacare exchanges is because of the Obamacare's faulty design. So what Democrats did during COVID is they increased the subsidies so millions didn't even have to chip in a dollar for their health care. As a result, you had unscrupulous agents and brokers sign people up using their name and the birth date. There's literally 6 million people at least who don't even know they have insurance companies. We paid the insurance companies billions of dollars. Nobody used the policy. I mean, that's massive fraud, tens of billions of dollars worth of fraud. So increasing or continuing those Obamacare temporary subsidies, which Democrats could have done, they never voted for that, would simply perpetuate that massive fraud on the part of insurance companies. Again, whether they know it or not, the agents certainly do. Yeah. We can't extend that fraud.
Your Eliminate Shutdowns Act that you referenced, Senator, is something we talked about earlier with your House colleague, Dusty Johnson. He's got the House component on this. It would automatically trigger a 14-day continuing resolution in the event of a lapse in appropriations. And it's a clever idea. Explain to us, though, what would happen if you remove the prospect of a deadline? What's the incentive to come to the table and actually craft a proposal? I know you've told us it's not happening already, but what would make it start in this case?
Yeah, could it literally get any worse? 6 out of 180?
Maybe not.
But anyway, there's always going to be pressure to spend more money. You got defense hawk wanting to increase defense spending. You've got Democrats wanting to ramp up, and some Republicans domestic spending. So there's always going to be pressure. If we just hold spending flat, there'd probably be coalitions put together to increase spending and come to some sort of deal. We passed a minibus here in the Senate for Veterans Administration, military construction. So there are areas of agreement. Focus on those. The areas of disagreement, work out some compromises. But again, it really couldn't be any worse than it is right now.